So class, before I dismiss you for the day, I have an announcement to make.
Oh, I wonder what the announcement is.
I'll be out of town for the rest of this week and part of next week for a conference.
What's the name of the conference and what is it about?
It's called BioConnect, the National Biology Educators Summit. It's a conference where biology teachers come together to connect, grow, and learn. We'll have opportunities to network with fellow instructors and share innovative teaching strategies.
That's fascinating. We hope you will enjoy your conference.
So, who will be our substitute teacher?
I don't want to give out too many details, but all I can say is, your substitute will be fun and will take good care of you. While I'm at the conference, I expect you to behave well for the substitute and complete all the assigned work.
We promise to be good for the substitute and complete all assigned tasks.
That's what I like to hear. Now, since we have a few minutes until the end of the school day, you guys can chat with your friends and classmates.
So let me get this straight. Your biology teacher is going out of town and you're going to have a substitute?
You heard it right, dude. And the only hint our teacher gave us is that our substitute teacher will be fun.
A fun substitute? Well, my guess would be Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Bill Nye the Science Guy? I heard he loves science and having him as a substitute would be fantastic.
I know, right? Imagine all the science fun we'll have.
We can name as many candidates as we want, but we'll just have to see who it is tomorrow.
That's right. Now, let's continue walking around this park.
Tomorrow, Lucas and I are getting a substitute teacher for our biology class.
Really? Do you know who will be your substitute?
Our teacher didn't tell us who. However, he told us that our substitute will be fun.
Fun, you say? One possible candidate could be Michael Scott from The Office.
Michael Scott from The Office? He's hilarious, and despite his flaws, he is kind, supportive, and caring towards his employees.
Aside from completing the assignments Mr. Edmonds has left for us to do, I bet he will show us his movie, Threat Level Midnight.
If he wants to show you guys his movie, then he better get approval from Dr. Hall and Mr. Lewis.
Megan, Monica, and I would be jealous if Michael Scott ended up being your substitute teacher. If he does show the movie in class, you boys must fill us in with the details.
Will do.
Well, girls, according to what Mr. Edmonds has told our class, we'll be getting a fun substitute teacher.
Any idea on who our substitute teacher will be?
I was thinking a TV show mom could be your substitute teacher. Anyone in mind?
How about Marge Simpson from The Simpsons? She's caring, nurturing, supportive, and can handle any level of chaos.
Maybe Karen Rooney from Liv and Maddie? Even though she can be overprotective of her children, she's nice and thoughtful.
Judy Neutron from The Adventures of Jimmy Neutron. Boy genius, sounds like a good candidate for a substitute teacher. Despite that she can get frustrated with Jimmy's antics, she's a caring and loving mother to him.
Oh, what about Linda Belcher from Bob's Burgers? Sure, she might be zany, but she loves her family, has a good sense of humor, and has lots of enthusiasm.
Those are some great candidates. If we end up getting a TV show mom as our substitute, she'll not only ensure our work is completed but also likely share amusing stories about her children.
I can agree on that, Odette. We'll just have to see who our substitute teacher is tomorrow.
Arun, I heard you and Tomoko are going to have a substitute teacher in your class tomorrow.
That's right, Angelo.
Any idea of who will be your substitute teacher?
We have no idea. We were told that our substitute teacher will be fun.
I see. Well, what if there were two substitute teachers? For example, Austin Moon and Allie Dawson from Austin and Allie.
Austin and Allie, two teen celebrities as our substitute teachers? That would be epic.
I know, right? If Austin and Allie were our substitute teachers, they would teach us all about music and songwriting.
I'd be jealous if Austin and Ali became your substitute teachers.
Same. Anyway, let's go inside the arcade for some fun.
You said it, Chinitsu.
Hugo, you're going to have a substitute teacher in your class tomorrow?
That's right, Lena. Any idea on who it will be?
To be honest, my classmates and I have no idea. The only clue our teacher gave us is that our substitute will be fun.
Well, what if an internet celebrity ended up being your substitute teacher?
An internet celebrity? How about PewDiePie?
PewDiePie as my class's substitute teacher? I can imagine him setting some time aside to show me and my classmates some of the games he's played over the years.
Oh, what about Ninja? You know, the streamer best known for his Fortnite live streams?
Tyler Blevins aka Ninja? That's a great candidate. He'll let us play Fortnite and it would be hilarious to see him rage if we beat him.
I got one. How about Tiffy, aka I has Cupquake?
I has Cupquake? Well, not only will she show us some cool games she has played, but also treat us to some delicious sweets, like cookies and cakes. All those are great candidates for my class's substitute teacher, but my classmates and I will just have to see who it is tomorrow. Today's the day we find out who our substitute teacher is.
I can't wait to see who our substitute teacher is.
Hey, that walking sound effect sounds familiar.
That sounds like one of Whaley Derrick's characters is going to be our substitute.
Looks like the substitute is here.
Goodness gracious, look at who we have got. It's Melvin Curtin from David Dream Stars.
Goodness gracious. Look at who we have got. It's Melvin Curtin from David Dream Stars.
Goodness gracious. Look at who we have got. It's Melvin Curtin from David Dream Stars.
Goodness gracious. Look at who we have got. It's Melvin Curtin from David Dream Stars.
Goodness gracious. Look at who we have got. It's Melvin Curtin from David Dreamsters.
At your service, students. It is me, Melvin Curtin, from David Dreamsters.
Wow. Melvin Curtin. Our substitute teacher?
Am I dreaming? Melvin Curtin, from David Dream Stars, is our substitute teacher.
Well, you're not dreaming at all. Your school hired me to be your substitute teacher.
This is truly a great day.
I agree with you, Lucas. Seeing that Melvin Curtin is our substitute teacher, this is definitely a great day.
Before I learn your names, I want to point out that 5 of your classmates greeted me with Whaley Derrick's catchphrase. As your substitute, I expect you to greet me with the catchphrase upon entering the classroom. Got it?
You can count on all of us to use the catchphrase.
Excellent. Now, tell me your names and one fun fact about yourselves.
I'll start. My name is Josh and one fun fact about me is that I love baseball and soccer.
I'm Ryder. I have a passion for sports and writing and I run a sports blog, which covers many sporting events.
Hello, my name is Kenneth. One of my hobbies is photography. I enjoy taking pictures and capturing memories along the way.
Greetings, I'm Cameron. I absolutely adore gardening and learning every bit of information about the plants in this world.
Hi. My name is Tomoko and one thing you should know about me is that I am a big fan of manga and anime.
What's up? My name is Hugo and a fun fact about me is that basketball is my favorite sport.
Hi. I'm Odette. I'm into fashion design. When I finish college, I want to work as a designer at either Louis Vuitton or Chanel.
How's it going? My name is Lucas and I love gaming.
Hi. I'm Finn Newler, and I enjoy going to museums.
How do you do? I'm Arun, and one of my interests is traveling. I love experiencing new cultures and meeting people from all walks of life.
Hello, I'm Veronica. I have a huge interest in cooking and when I finish my studies here, I plan to go to cooking school.
Awesome. It's nice to meet you all. Now, I know you want to know more about me, my friends, and my enemies, but first things first, you have some assignments to do. As you know, your teacher has left me a list of things to do.
You can count on us to get our work done before we can get to know more about you, your friends, and your enemies.
Definitely, We know that work comes first, and once the work's done, we can have fun.
I'm glad to hear that. The first thing your teacher wants you to do is complete a worksheet about plant and animal cells. I'll hand them out and you can work on them with your classmates.
I have a question. Melvin,
Yes, Finula.
how did you end up becoming our substitute teacher?
Well, I wanted to do some volunteer work, and I came across an online ad from your school seeking a substitute teacher. I filled out an application, went for an interview, passed a background check, did some training, and I was assigned to be your substitute teacher.
That's great.
Anyway, let me get those worksheets passed out. Now that all of you are done with your worksheets, it's time for you to learn more about me, my friends, and my enemies. What do you want to know more about?
Tell us about the moments from your troublemaker era.
Certainly. To start this off, I want to show you what I looked like when I was a troublemaker. As you can see, I'm wearing the same outfit, just with sunglasses.
Wow, you look so cool with those sunglasses.
Why, thank you, Lucas. Troublemaker or not, I can wear those sunglasses to look cool. Okay, in this picture, you see that girl talking to me? Do you know who she is?
That's easy. That's Helen Robinson, Max Blake's girlfriend. Max is the leader of Maximus Danger.
That's correct, Tomoko. I take it all of you are familiar with not just David Dreamsters, but also Maximus Danger.
All of us are familiar with both groups. Say, Melvin, what were you and Helen doing?
Well, Helen and I were meeting for the first time. I told her I supported bad guys and my nickname is Mr. Mischief. After she got to know me, she pointed to a car that belonged to Thomasville, who is Nora Clements's uncle. Nora is part of David Dreamsters, but she's not a main member of the group. Her brother, Drek, is part of Maximus Danger. Moving on, I gave her an explosive device, and she put it on top of Thomas's car. After that explosive device went off, it destroyed the car.
And afterwards, Helen got caught and got grounded by her parents, right?
Correct, Josh. A lesson to learn from this is to never destroy a person's property or else you might end up behind bars and you'll have to pay for the damages. Now, I'm going to tell you what happened that caused me to change for the better. One day, I was bored and had to think about something entertaining to do. After thinking about it, I decided to put some poison into a food item and give it to a police officer. The police officer I gave the poison food item to is Officer Walt. And the sad truth is, he's Tony Miller's father.
Wow. You poisoned Officer Walt, Tony's father?
Yes, Kenneth, I did. After I got arrested for poisoning Officer Walt, I was sent to jail and my parents came to my cell and scolded me for what I've done. After my parents scolded me, I began to realize what I've done to everyone I affected, and that's when I decided to change for the better.
Melvin, we're sorry that you had to go through all that and we're glad that you've decided to change for the better. Say, did Tony ever found out you poisoned his father?
I'll get to that in a moment. But first, let's get to the day I was set free from jail. Officer Randy told me my jail sentence was over and that before I can go home, I needed to apologize to Officer Walt. I gave a sincere apology to him and he accepted it. To answer your question, Lucas, well, he already knew about it after his father told him. One time, he saw me at the park and he was angry and yelled at me for poisoning his father.
And this happened before you officially joined David Dreamstars?
Yes, Arun. Moving on, I told Tony I sincerely apologized to his father for my actions, and from there, he calmed down and apologized for being angry at me. So everyone, remember this. Choosing to commit a crime isn't just breaking the law. It's choosing a path filled with hardship and limited prospects.
We'll remember that.
Great. That makes me happy to hear that. After I apologized to Officer Walt, I headed home. My parents were happy to see me, and when I told them I no longer support bad guys like Maximus Danger, they were so proud of me. However, some people will not accept the fact that I improved myself for the better. One example is this entitled lady named Brenda.
What did Brenda do?
Well, she had the audacity to walk into my house without permission, bring up my past, and force me to return to my troublemaking ways. Thankfully, my parents told her off and she went on her way.
That's good that she left you alone after your parents told her off.
Speaking of people who don't accept those that changed their ways, Oliver and Amber from the International Terrors didn't accept William and Aluna leaving their gang and changing their ways for the better.
And as a result, Oliver and Amber plotted revenge on them by assaulting them and forcing them to rejoin the gang. Thankfully, the police stopped them on time before things got worse.
Wow, those two psychopaths went that far just because William and Aluna improved their behaviors? That's just messed up. I'm just lucky that Brenda didn't assault me just because I didn't want to go back to my troublemaking ways.
Goodness gracious. Look at who we have got. It's our buddy, Melvin.
Goodness gracious. Look at who we have got. It's Melvin, one of our best buddies.
Goodness gracious. Look at who we have got. It's the one and only, Melvin.
Goodness gracious. Look at who we have got. It's the amazing Melvin.
At your service, my buddies.
So Melvin, how was your first day being a substitute teacher at Llewellyn Academy?
It was fun. The students were really excited about having me as their substitute teacher, due to them being familiar with David Dreamsters.
Wait, so they're already familiar with our group?
That's right, Tony.
So, what did you talk about with the students?
Well, they wanted to know about the days I was a troublemaker, so I talked about that.
I remember you told us about those days. Well, we are so glad you're no longer a troublemaker and no longer supporting bad people like Maximus Danger.
I'm glad to. Anyway, how about we head over to the Sonic Museum and hang out there?
That sounds like a fantastic idea. Let's go there and have some fun.
Let's go then. I shall lead the way. Now that everyone has completed the work, what should be the topic of the day?
How about telling us about David Dreamsters?
Good idea, Ryder. First off, here's a picture of the 5 main members of David Dreamsters. The person seated next to me is David Hill, the leader of David Dreamsters. The guy in the dark red shirt is Tony Miller, the guy in the blue shirt and white jacket is Nick Dill, and the guy in the yellow shirt is Caillou Anderson.
Wait. Caillou is part of David Dreamsters?
That's right, Kenneth. Pretty surprising, right? I get that there are many versions of Caillou that exist. In Wale Darix's universe, he's a good person, has hair on his head, and is part of David Dreamsters. Okay, here's a picture of all the members of David Dreamsters in their super forms. For our super form colors, mine is cyan, David's is green, Tony's is red, Nick's is blue, and Caillou's is yellow.
Aside from you, David, Tony, Nick, and Caillou, who are the other members of David Dreamsters?
That's a great question, Hugo. Well, they are Nora Clements, Idina Miller, Ella Walker, Violet Carter, Joe and Ryan Moss, Rex and Felix McMillan, and Kenneth Colton. In addition to the members, there are 2 helpers and they are Victor Schultz and Warren Cook.
What a great group.
I agree with you, Finn Newlaw. David Dreamsters is an amazing group.
I'm pleased to hear that, Finn Newlaw and Tomoko. Say, why don't we watch some videos featuring David Dreamsters?
That's a great idea. By the way, I was thinking tomorrow, you can tell us all about Maximus Danger.
I had a feeling that you want to know more about Maximus Danger, so yes, we'll talk about that group tomorrow. I'll even show you some of the battles between David Dreamsters and Maximus Danger. Anyway, time to show you the videos. I'm sure you'll love them. Ah, I see you're not in your uniforms.
Today's Friday, which is dress down day. On Fridays, we wear our casual outfits.
What? Today's Friday? Time sure flies, doesn't it? Anyway, are you ready to hear all about Maximus Danger?
Definitely.
You bet we are.
All right then. Let's get started. Let me start off by telling you who is in Maximus danger. On the top row, there's Chill and Chester Armstrong, Helen Robinson, Max Blake, Brick Abney, and Ocean Parker. As you already know, Max is the leader of Maximus danger. On the bottom row, there's Drake Clements, Greg Bohr, Hugo and Thalia Saunders, and Hannah Nelson. There's also 3 more members of that group, who are not shown in this picture. Okay, here's the next picture. These are the Parker triplets, Richard, Victoria, and Sean. Richard is wearing red, Sean is wearing blue, and Victoria is wearing yellow. Fun fact, they're Ocean Parker's cousins.
Wow, a set of triplets who are Ocean's cousins? A Parker family reunion would surely descend into chaos with those 4 around.
Yeah, definitely. And I want to mention that they're mild troublemakers, meaning they don't commit serious crimes like the international terrors and the vicious terrorists.
That's good to know that Maximus Danger isn't as dangerous as the international terrors and the vicious terrorists.
Yeah. Besides, all of us had gone through enough with the international terrors. On 3 occasions, they caused so much disruption in order to, quote-unquote, show us how superior and powerful their gang is. Did you know 7 members of that gang manipulated all their gang members' parents to destroy our school?
I've heard about that, and I am shocked that something like that would happen. So, is there any member in that group you want to know more about?
How about Max Blake?
I knew he would be the first choice. You know one of the worst things he has done. He had the audacity to call Gaylu the pigeon a turkey, even after Gaylu told him numerous times to not call him a turkey.
That's so mean of Max to do that. He should know better than to call Gaylu a turkey when he clearly is a pigeon.
I agree with that. As you all are aware, Max and David are enemies. However, it wasn't always like that. When they were kids, they were good friends. The friendship lasted until David found out that Max had become a bad person. He found out that Max bullies his classmates and fails his exams.
Don't you just hate it when you find out that your friend is a bully?
I hate when that happens. Anyway, David ended his friendship with Max, leaving Max in tears. Years later, Max saw David at the park and blamed him for ruining his life and causing him to be mentally ill. He and David got into an argument and at the end, he hit him in the stomach.
Oh no, I feel so bad for David. I am so disappointed in Max's actions. He didn't handle the fact that David was right to end his friendship with him. I mean, do you want to be friends with someone who doesn't do well on exams and bullies people for their own pleasure?
Remember, there are many reasons as to why people bully others. Some reasons include a bad home life, having insecurities, or wanting to become popular. If you ever encounter a bully in your life, do whatever it takes. Report the incidents to a trusted adult, don't get physical with the bully, and build your confidence.
We'll remember that for sure.
Great. Now, let's talk about the other Maximus Danger members.
I can't believe today's the last day of having Melvin as our substitute teacher.
I know, right? Let's make the best of today.
You're right on that, Finnula. Let's make today the best it can be.
Class, I know today's the last day of me being your substitute teacher. I'm as sad as you are.
It's a shame that it must come to an end. We're so grateful that you were our substitute teacher.
I agree with Odette. It was an honor to have you as our substitute teacher.
We enjoyed learning a lot about you, your friends, and your enemies.
Or, thank you guys. You're so sweet. Since today's my last day as your substitute teacher, I have a special treat for you. I invited some special guests to meet you guys.
Really? Who are they?
You'll find out once they're here. Oh good, they're coming.
Goodness gracious. Look at who we have got. It's David Dreamstars.
Goodness gracious. Look at who we have got. It's David Dreamstars.
Goodness gracious. Look at who we have got. It's David Dreamstars.
Goodness gracious. Look at who we have got. It's David Dreamstars.
Goodness gracious. Look at who we have got. It's David Dreamstars.
Goodness gracious. Look at who we have got. It's David Dreamstars.
At your service, our new buddies. I'm David Hill, the leader of David Dreamstars.
How do you do? I'm Tony Miller.
What's up? I'm Nick Dill.
How's it going? I'm Caillou Anderson.
In case you were wondering, I talked to the headmistress and deputy headmaster about this, and they allowed me to invite my friends over to meet you.
Now that all the main members of David Dreamstars are together, let's have some fun chatting with you guys.
Wow, that fight you had with Max Blake was epic.
We're so happy that you won the battle, and as a reward, Tony and Nick treated you to a visit to Team Bandicoot's house, where you got to meet Crash, Crunch, and Coco.
David, Nick, and I had fun hanging out with Crash, Crunch, and Coco. It was definitely one of the best days ever.
I hope someday we can meet Team Bandicoot.
Well, my buddies, you'll get a chance. Crash, Crunch, and Coco are fun to hang out with, and they'll not only let you play some Crash Bandicoot video games, but also let you try some Wumpa fruits.
Tony and David, did you eat any Wumpa fruits when you were at Team Bandicoot's house?
We didn't, let me tell you, they were so delicious. They tasted like apples.
I agree with David. Wumpa fruits are so sweet, tasty, and healthy.
Now I feel like eating a Wumpa fruit.
Wow, Nick. I can't believe that Drek would smash your Nintendo Switch for no reason at all. It's a good thing your dad was able to buy you a new one.
It's a shame. Also, one time, Drek was about to smash my PlayStation 4, but thankfully, I stopped him from doing so and I finished him off with my superpowers.
And your superpowers blew electric lightning?
You got that right, buddy.
It's so cool that all members of David Dreamstars have superpowers.
We use our superpowers to stop bad guys from harming innocent people.
I hope you guys will protect our city from bad people like the vicious terrorists.
Don't worry. We'll be more than happy to protect you guys from bad people.
When we heard that you're part of David Dreamstars, we were surprised.
Yeah! We know that other versions of Caillou are portrayed as troublemakers and that most versions of Caillou don't have hair on their heads, just like the TV show version.
Well, Whaley Derricks decided to portray me as a good person and chose to give me hair. And I get that it's surprising that I'm part of David Dreamstars.
Say Caillou, do you remember the day you met David and became friends with him?
I remember that day so well. It was one of the best days ever. I was walking at the park, and I accidentally bumped into David. I apologized to him, and when I got a second look at him, I knew who he was. Later, he introduced me to his loving parents, and after that, I introduced him to my loving family. So, despite a bit of a bumpy start, we became good friends.
Oh, that's so sweet. And yes, some friendships have bumpy starts, but as time goes on, the friendships get better and better.
You're right on that one, Veronica.
I'm so happy to see them interacting with my amazing friends. I'm forever grateful to be part of David Dreamstars. Once today's over, I'll miss those wonderful students.
So, class, before we get to today's lessons, tell me about your time with your substitute teacher. Were you surprised about who ended up being your substitute?
Oh yeah, we were surprised that Melvin Curtin was our substitute teacher.
I didn't expect him to be our substitute teacher.
I have something to admit.
And what's that, Mr. Edmonds?
Well, I know a lot of students here are familiar with David Dreamstars, a hero group created by Whaley Derricks. I thought to myself, what if a member of David Dreamstars subbed for my class? When the school put out an online ad for the substitute, I looked through all the candidates that applied and I saw Melvin's name on there. With that, I encouraged the school administration to assign Melvin to be your substitute.
Wow. You really encouraged the school administration to assign Melvin as our substitute. You're the best, Mr. Edmonds.
Now that I got that out of the way, tell me how your time with Melvin was. I'm curious to know how it went.
We had a lot of fun with him. We learned a lot about him, his friends, and his enemies.
Plus, on his last day as substitute, he invited David Dreamstars over and introduced them to us.
It's true. He really invited them over and we chatted with them and got to know them.
Most importantly, we did the work you left for us to do while you were away.
Excellent. I'm happy that you had a great time with Melvin and got your assignments done. With that said, let's get to today's lessons.